My name's Ben.
My name is Andrew, and our social justice theme is inhumane treatment.
The definition of social justice is justice in terms of the distribution of wealth, opportunities, and privileges within a society.
Our first quotation is "The world will not be destroyed by those who do evil, but by those who watch them without doing anything." Albert Einstein. This quote is explaining how we should be proactive. It is also a call to action for people to get up and do something about the injustices in the world. For our second quote, treat others the way you want to be treated. Matthew 7:12. Even after thousands of years of teaching the Golden Rule, people still don't understand common respect for each other.
For my interview, I would have liked to interview my dad to learn more about his struggles with social injustices, but since he passed away a year and a half ago, I interviewed my mother instead, who relayed his stories. This starts in the 1930s when things were quite different from today. He was born in Colorado to migrant field workers who came from Mexico in the 1920s. His father worked in the fields and his mother cooked for the workers. If you ever read The Grapes of Wrath, this was his life. He struggled during his first years in school because English wasn't the spoken language at home. He was put in the corner as a dunce quite often. This, of course, was a humiliating experience. Most of the times he failed his classes, but the teachers passed him on to the next grade because they didn't want to see him another year. These injustices only made him stronger. In 1940, they packed all of their belongings and 7 kids in one truck and drove to California. Around the age 11, he started working in the fields and was often around dangerous equipment and pesticides. He described hauling heavy pipes out of trucks and into fields. The long hot summers caused skin cancers later in his life. When he started working for the state franchise tax board, he was passed over numerous times for higher positions, which he was more than qualified to have. One supervisor said he would never allow a Mexican to have that position. It's sad to hear these stories, but the unfair treatment caused him to work harder and become the success that he was.
For our first art piece on the left side, the bright colors automatically draw your eye to all the important issues the artwork is trying to list. It makes you think about all the injustices in the world today. And with our second art piece on the right, with the little girl holding her blanket and her clothing all dirty, this photo really ends up tugging at your heart, hoping we can make a better world for people like her.
When you think of a Nobel Prize of Literature recipient, singers and songwriters don't come to mind. Luckily, we have Bob Dylan to take that honor. He's been composing songs for nearly 60 years. He's also greatly influenced civil rights and anti-war movements. We chose 3 lyrics from Bob Dylan's song Blown in the Wind. They are, how many roads must a man walk down before you call him a man? How many times must the cannonballs fly before they're forever banned? And how many years can some people exist?
For the social justice book we read Sold. Sold is a novel about a girl named Lakshmi. She was sold into prostitution as a child and learns the hardship of becoming a woman in the sex trafficking business. The conditions and inhumane treatment she receives is cruel. An example is tonight when Mumtaz comes to my room, she sees that her strap has left raw sores on my back and neck, my arms, and my legs.
For our film, we watched Aaron Brockovich. The movie Aaron Brockovich highlights the struggles of the small town in Southern California against PG&E. The gas and electric company was contaminating the land near their plant with deadly chromium-6, leaching into the ground because they didn't properly line their pools with protective sealants. To worsen the situation, they hired doctors to treat these families and tell them that chromium was good for them. Hundreds were affected by the contaminated tap water in the town. Erin uncovers the deception of the carcinogenic water and its effects on the town. She jumps in and helps the families have a better life. Her first client received $5 million. It's hard to say if that was enough compensation for all the inhumane suffering caused by the toxic water.